Welcome to Attention Talk Video, where we pay attention to attention. Now, here's your host, Jeff Copper.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, cognitive engineer and ADHD coach, Jeff Copper. Today, I would like to have a little conversation with you about research and the application of research and what it says in the books, and the fact that, life just doesn't quite always work the way it says in the books. And there's a reason to this because recently I was dealing with some individuals that are related to people that I was coaching. They had a lot of expectations about coaching and kind of what it was really all about. And they were kind of preaching to me a lot of research, how the brain and cortisol and the amygdala and all that type of stuff. And I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's out there. But honestly, I don't really know what that does to help you actually execute. Like, now that you can recite verse, can you feel cortisol? Like, are you noticing your amygdala? How's it showing up in everyday life? And so, as a coach, I do a lot of trying to convert stuff into a way that people can do something with. And recently, I was coaching a psychiatrist, and we were having a conversation about emotional dysregulation. And when I have people call me with coaching, I mean, they'll emote about their emotions. I mean, they have emotions about their emotions, and they kind of go out there. And some time ago, as a precursor to my cognitive engineering from the Inside Out program, I started taking a look at emotions and say, what are we going to do about this? And so, literally, when I've defined this and I deal with my clients, and I said, a feeling, at least for my purposes, is the physical manifestation of an emotion. Right? Now, by the way, you can have emotions and not feel it. But for our purposes right now, a feeling is the physical manifestation of an emotion. An emotion is a reflex. Now, I can't wait to get comments on this with a bunch of people that are going to argue with me about how emotions are really so much more. But when you think about it, an emotion, if it's a reflex is an automated response. Like, have you ever tripped and noticed that your arms reach out to brace your fall? Have you ever thought about what it's like to inhibit that? Pretty difficult when you think about it. I would actually argue that first responders, Marines, police, fire, they have to go through specialized training so that when they're at a scene or they're in peril, they don't panic. And so why is this a big deal? Well, if you look at an emotion as being a reflex, and by the way, your brain emotionally wants to escape discomfort, right? And seek comfort. That's kind of like what life is all about. And so if you think about impulsivity, it's a reflex. It's an emotion to escape discomfort, actually to escape thinking. And so where am I going with all this? Well, again, I'm going back to all that research that's all there. But when I'm working with clients, the question really is how do you inhibit a reflex? Because when you deal with those emotions, it manifests in your day as a reflexive reaction. And how do you do that? Well, one is you don't put yourself in a situation that you're going to have a negative emotion. Okay. Number two, you're walking into a situation and you're expecting to have a negative emotion and you're kind of on guard. Like, you're waiting for it, you're looking for it. Then three is how do you not, like, when you're having an emotion, how do you inhibit it? Well, that's really, really difficult. So the context here really brings this to light, that emotional self-regulation is very difficult, and number two is, when you think about it, there's no tip, trick, or strategy that's really going to inhibit that reflex. You're going to really override it because it's a reflex. And so what do you have to do? Well, you need to go through specialized training. You have to address this and you have to take it on head on. A lot of times people are coming on, I'm having an emotion like, what are you going to do about it? I can't do anything about it. You have to participate in this. And it's hard. And so again, really what I'm trying to do is trying to, like, wake you up a little bit. If you have got emotional regulation problems, really kind of impulsivity, is that at some level you're doing things because reflexively it feels good, or you don't want to do something because you're escaping discomfort. And it all, at some level, comes back to a level of self-awareness. In order to inhibit a reflex, you have to be on guard. And so let's pause to think. Number one, hopefully by saying this, you'll take it a little bit more seriously. Number two is, don't get me wrong, knowledge is great, but I don't know how you really, oh my God, there's my cortisol. Like, what's kind of going on? Intellectually, you can understand it. So I do. And by the way, I've actually had people I coached before where I forbid them to read anything else about ADHD on the internet because they spend so much time trying to pawn over it or be like somebody else. They're not really kind of aware of themselves and what they knew to do to manage stuff. So anyway, I know this didn't solve your problem, but if you're running east looking for a sunset, you're not going to find it. Sometimes you got to turn around and go the other direction. And so I would encourage you to start to take a look at your emotions as a reflexive reaction. Take it as seriously as you need to and realize this is going to take a little bit of effort. And if you take it a little bit more seriously and say this is hard, by the way, if you think it's easy, you're not really giving the respect it's due. But if you say it's hard, I think you might find that you're going to do better just because if it's hard, it's hard. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to join the fold. If you're an existing viewer, please leave a comment. By the way, I'd like to thank everybody. I've been asking for some support from my channel because we're really about content, not entertaining you. And a lot of people have really been stepping up to the plate. For that, I thank you. So with that, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.